Ho ho! Hi, Chad. Yeah, keep it calm. Keep it calm.
Uh, Welcome back. I feel like it's been a while.
I can't say I'm rested, but I am energized. Yeah, hell of a month break we had. It's been a minute since we spoke, and we've just been on a roller coaster of emotions. I don't even know if I'm happy or sad anymore. Probably more sad, to be honest. But I mean, if we look at the EPL, we're both on opposite ends of the spectrum. Champions League, different ends of the spectrum. I don't know where to go from here. Very confusing times we live in. Let's get into it. Should we just go with the most recent news? Oh, I'm drinking coffee, by the way. A little perk up, you know what I mean?
Same,
Yeah. So cheers to the coffee bros. All right, let's just go recency here. Champions League, Arsenal in, Liverpool out. Expected, yes. Nervous,
Yeah.
we were, and I would say the outcomes that happened were realistic. Of course, hopes were high with Liverpool, as they've kind of been all year, just because you never know.
Yeah.
And I don't know, your thoughts on Arsenal and how it played out. I mean, I'm sure you were nervous too about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the first time we've seen, Arsenal grab a one-goal lead in the first leg and then just kind of see out the second leg. I think they definitely had their moments to make it more comfortable, but didn't, which is maybe a on-running theme these days. But I think you would expect Arsenal to get past Sporting. Not that they're bad by any means. They got here just like everyone else, but I think Arsenal second leg at home, big Champions League night. It's always going to be tough for the away team to come in and really
Sure.
get one over on Arsenal. So happy for that. Excited to take that next step. I don't know how this game against Atletico is going to go. It's two teams that I think are more comfortable in defense than offense these days. So we'll see. We'll see. It could just be a big 0-0 fest all the way to penalties.
That wouldn't shock me, honestly, if that's kind of what happens. I mean, I think Atletico is going to be, gosh, your toughest opponent that you've faced to date. Honestly, like all around in EPL, maybe. Of course, City's always there, but that's probably going to be your toughest opponent of the year. And then, if you get past that stage, Bayern or PSG. Very scary. I think this is going to make for an epic semi. And then, if Arsenal go through and they face PSG, that's going to be a fantastic game. I want Bayern Arsenal personally, just because of the history and, the I'd say the last, we can almost call it 2 decades now of this matchup always seeming to happen. And in recent years, Arsenal's kind of gotten a little more edge, and now, but a decade back, it was all Bayern. I think that's going to be, if that's the final, epic final, just because of the history behind it. But then again, if Sporting do go through underdog, that's who I'm going to be rooting for. I would love to see them take down a PSG or a Bayern and give some, relevance to Portugal in the Champions League. It's a good, I think it's a really fun semi, and it's going to be tough for all teams. I cannot tell you on a bracket who's going to go through right now. I would assume Bayern, but dude, PSG, man, they have that edge.
Yeah, I think both PSG and Bayern is just they can go down, but they can come back up so quickly. Like we saw with Bayern and Real in that second leg, it looked like Real was gonna maybe sneak through, or at least take it into extra time, and
Yep.
they had a dumb red card in there to hamper that, but still just the Bayern relentlessness, and Elise finally hitting that shot after I don't know 3-4 times of trying in the game. They're scary. PSG, I think PSG almost feels more scary these days than when like Messi and everyone was there, which is kind of crazy to say.
I know, right? Isn't that so bizarre?
Yeah.
But I think they had 3 A+ players on a lot of like mid tier, and now they're just solid B pluses everywhere. I mean, you can really call them A- at this point in my mind. I mean, they're just it's a rock solid team. There isn't that one player who's going to dominate you. They have such a balanced squad. It's really frustrating to go against them 2 times in a row and get kicked out. Back-to-back years. It's going to be a great matchup. I mean, their forwards are so heavy. So heavy on both sides, with backed up with just a fantastic midfield and defense. I think some would argue like this could be the final, but it's not. So we got to see what happens on the other side of the table. It's just setting up for a sweet game in Hungary. I think end of May. Are we getting it that? Oh man, if it's May, the last Saturday of May, I do have plans, and I don't know if I'll be able to watch it. I know I got to check right now. I actually am gonna double check right now. May 30th, 9 a.m. Is that
9 a.m.? It's normally like noonish for us.
Pacific time? 9 a.m.
It's a morning game?
It's usually at 11. I thought.
Yeah, 11, 12, somewhere in there.
We'll double check that. Yeah, I just Googled it. It has it in Pacific time, 9 a.m. So,
Okay. Wow.
I might be in your hood, so maybe we can get some brekkie and go watch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got nothing more to say on my team. I mean, expected, yes. Not starting Mo Salah and Rio was a bit painful, considering I think Mo had the most chances created in the, if I'm calling it right, 68 minutes out of the 180. He had the most chances created for Liverpool. So that kind of sucks. Not gonna lie, seeing that and his last bout for Liverpool in the Champions League, and of course Rio, just young, inexperienced, but boy does that kid have some flair where he can just change a game on a dime. I don't know, man. Once we talk Premier League stuff, it's tough to not say slot out. I'm leaning that way. It makes it complicated because we're shaping up to maybe be third in the table at the end of the year, just because everyone else is kind of slipping too. It's very complicated. How do you want to fire your coach after winning the league and then getting third the next year with devastating injuries? And I think that's just because, in my mind, it's just been not the Liverpool way. It feels like all this stuff we've built up over the last decade with Klopp has just been kind of eroding into a boring play style that just looks repetitious every week that isn't working. And it's driving me crazy. So we'll talk more about that. But, I mean, I don't know. You got anything more to say about Champions League and your next matchup here?
Not too much. I think it's at this point it's just, well, Arsenal hasn't been in great form. I think there has been signs, especially in this game. I think players are starting to find it a little bit more. So I think it'll really just come down to Arsenal's form and how they want to set out. Like, I can see both teams just defending and waiting for that one chance, and maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. Or, I think one team will just have to come out and try and actually, win the game offensively, I guess. But I don't know. I think that really just depends on where players are at, how the team's feeling. Maybe even the mental stress of Premier League or not. We'll see.
Right.
But yeah, I think it'll be a good matchup. Just things just still stressful.
Well, let's get into the Premier League then, because it was a lot of good, a lot of bad things happening on the weekend. Let's just get it right off the bat here. Let's get it started with you, Chad. The loss to Bournemouth. City creeping. City on the weekend.
Never go away, huh?
What's going on in your head? How are we feeling? I'm sure you're a little nervous.
Yeah, I mean, feels like the Arsenal way to like never make it easy.
Yeah.
Like a win here, you go in, you know, a 12-point gap, but you know, City still has the game in hand. So, but points on the board is always better than not, right? So, um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Bournemouth has been one of those kind of bogey teams for Arsenal over the past few years. I think considering, you know, Arsenal hadn't really. I mean, they went out, lost the Carabao Cup final, went out in the FA Cup, which I don't necessarily think both of those are terrible for Arsenal's season, but it's maybe the way they went out where it's like it wasn't too much of a fight in those games, resulting in them going out. So like, yeah, form is in the dumps. I'm sure, you know, vibes are low, and I think that's still kind of transmitted here to the Bournemouth game because, you know, it's a home game, but it first game in like almost a month for Premier League for Arsenal. So I think ideally the time away should have been nice. Like, yeah, Carabao Cup final, FA Cup, you know, just get your mind off Premier League for a little bit and then come back and full steam ahead. Unfortunately, I don't think it worked that way because of how they like fell out of those competitions, and it just seemed like I don't know, Arsenal was just kind of off the pace, I guess, a little bit more than usual. Like, I know I've commented on just like lackadaisical passing and play over the season, and I think that really crept up here again. You know, it looked like Bournemouth was just kind of employing a similar tactic that City did in the Carabao Cup final, which I mean wasn't as effective here, but I think still posed such a problem for Arsenal and the midfield because the passing was just not great. You know, you're missing some of those key like ball carriers or people that can find those passes, like your Odegaards and Saka, and you know, it's just things weren't clicking, I guess, which is fine. Things will happen. I get that, but at the same time, you don't have a lot of time to have these games anymore, right?
Y'all should be pedal to the metal right now.
Yeah.
Going all out. I mean, this is like what you saved. Arsenal has played, we're going to call it a safe season in my mind, right? Not the goals, not the constant attacking, constant countering, constant putting pressure in the final third. They've been possessing. They've been waiting. They've been patient. I feel like these games against the mid-table, they should just be flooring it, like absolutely attacking, going at them constantly. And this is it's almost like that City Cup final put a weird vibe in their head of like, oh crap, like if teams don't really press against us, what do we do, right? We're kind of, that game felt like such a staple core memory of this season because of how City deplored their tactic of just like let's see what Arsenal can do if we do nothing.
Yeah.
And Arsenal kind of showed their cards, and not saying they didn't know what to do, but they were just shocked by it. It like spooked them, right? So it'll be interesting this weekend to see if City rolls out that same game plan, if Arsenal has really studied. I mean, I don't want to say they threw this Bournemouth game, but the Bournemouth game was not circled on their calendar. It was the next weekend, right? It was the following weekend that they're saying, okay, what do we do here? Maybe that was already on their minds. Maybe they forgot about Bournemouth. Maybe they, you know.
I'm sure, you know.
It wasn't.
They always want to say, you know, oh, one game at a time. You know, that City game had been circled for a long time, and you know, it was probably like, yeah, we got Bournemouth, but you know, City's the focus right now.
The mentality is going to be so different when it comes to City and Bournemouth's matches, which is bad. You shouldn't do like that. Shouldn't be the case. Every game you should be looking at every game like it's you're going against top competition. I mean, Liverpool struggled with that too. I mean, look at the Tottenham game a few weeks ago. Like, what the hell is that? Like, what? Like, it's crazy the mentality teams can have, and I like to partially blame coaching on that one, and player mentality, but it's a long season, and to have that mental fortitude of being strong and handling the stress, this is why Pep's teams, man, are always lingering, right? Outside of a couple years, right? A couple outlier years in his career profile where they didn't win something, they're always creeping. And, I kick myself as a Liverpool fan and a team saying, like, you telling me we couldn't, the 10 losses we have this year, we couldn't cut it to, say, 7 or 6 and then make up, those 10 points there and then be sitting right where City is? This season could have been so wide open for so many teams. But it's again, it goes back to the mental fortitude and the grind and staying stable. But this weekend, Chad, this is like, I don't want to say it's the make or break for the season, but it's pretty damn close. It's pretty close.
The thing is like, this weekend's result doesn't necessarily decide the title, but I think the loss to Bournemouth has made the rest of the games like way more important than they should have been.
For sure.
So, Arsenal back in this position, dealing with the stress of like righting some wrongs of seasons past, and now the stress of City being closer on your tail because you lost to Bournemouth. It sucks that they did that, because like, you win at Bournemouth, you can almost go to City and get whatever result and still cruise to the end. But I don't know. I've been trying to just keep things in perspective. I think of like, this team, while has plenty of haters out there, like, got here by merit, right? Like, they didn't stumble their way up to the top. There's been some bad performances over the past few weeks, but you look at the form table of the last like 5-10 games, and City and Arsenal are relatively similar. I think Arsenal just has the one loss in there compared to City had a draw. So it's like, it's hard sometimes, because I think fans, and we can get so, especially in like the social media realm, get so like hyper focused on the one result, and like it can become doom and gloom real quick. But I don't think that does make it fun. As much as Arteta said, let's enjoy the ride and like play with no fear, and like, I don't know if that's really happening, but if you're gonna be a fan of something, you gotta at least hope and dream and want your team to go on and do this big thing, right? So this game, yes, is gonna be bigger than it should have been by Arsenal's own doing, but we're here. We're fighting at the top of the table. You got to take on the big boys to get it done sometimes, and
to be the best, you got to beat the best, right?
Exactly.
And I think we could all argue that City has been the best in the last decade.
Yeah, and it's. I'd rather have to go to their ground and like get a result, and that kind of solidifies the win, right?
Oh, for sure.
Just the straight cruise, because I think for all the hate that Arsenal gets, I think if they can do that away at City when they're hot on their heels, I don't think rival fans will give Arsenal the respect, but I think Arsenal fans and like more neutral fans will give the Arsenal the respect that they deserve for the position they're in.
If you guys lose to City this weekend and win the league, no one's going to remember that loss on the weekend.
Well, that too, yeah.
And also, I think if you all win the league, everyone's going to remember that win against City. So, it can go both ways. It's just going to be I hope for a slugfest. I hope some of your guys come back from injury too. We should be seeing Saka back out there. I know Mateta had a slight knock as well.
Yeah, I mean, the injuries are always hard too, because like Arteta and Arsenal don't really say too much about it. Odegaard came back for like a game or two, then is gone again. Saka was supposed to be like maybe days, and then now it's been weeks. Calafiori's been like in and out. Timbers maybe coming back. Like it's a lot, but that's part of the long season, and we got Dowman out there. I think it's time to just let him run. It's kind of like Rio, he gets out there, he has that fire and that like lack of I wouldn't say it's a little bit of lack of fear, but like just I think excitement to be playing at this level, and for a kid that has probably spent his whole life playing soccer and trying to get up here to this level, to finally like be in these games and get these moments, and I think you just gotta ride that a little bit. Like, yeah, obviously can't play him back-to-back 90s at this age, but I don't know, maybe that's the ticket to get through City a little bit, just because it is a player they don't have hours and hours of footage on to study, right? Like
secret weapon,
something going, yeah, or try something else. Like it's been doing the Arteta's been doing the Martinelli, Gyökeres, Madueke, which hasn't really been helping anything, only because I think all three of those players would rather take the ball on the run rather than hold up or build up, really, which then I think just creates such a gap between midfield and the forwards, and that's where we're getting no real offensive pressure. So yeah, it's a lot on Arsenal, a lot on Arteta, but it's time to leave it all out there. If Szoboszlai is willing to die on the pitch, I need Arsenal players to die on the City pitch.
Now is the time. There's talks about the playoff possibly happening between Arsenal and City. If a draw happens in this game, we could, and like of course many other factors need to go into it too to make it happen. But it's really, really close. It's pretty interesting to see how close these teams are with their kind of head to head. I'm just going to go quickly here and kind of read off. So City has 63 goals to Arsenal 62. Goal difference right now 35 to City, 38 to Arsenal. And in order to see a playoff, they need to be tied on points, goal difference, goal scored, points won on head-to-head games. So if a draw happens here, we would see this, and then away goals scored in head-to-head games, which would be one apiece. Yeah. So if that happens, which I think has happened once. I think I was reading it happened one time. Let me see if I can find the year. It was I want to say it was in the 60s. Here we go. 1995-1996 season. Manchester United and Newcastle had a playoff match that was required. So would be neat to see it again. Honestly, it would be played at a neutral ground. At the end of the season would be over. I mean, essentially, you're just playing to win the league. I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like this is the year where it'd be fun to see, just because of like it's the end of Pep. This is like Arteta's like breaking point, right? Because if he doesn't get it done this year, what happens next? It would just make for an epic final for like a decade's worth of rivalries between not just City and Arsenal, but throw Liverpool in there too. So yeah, I don't know. Keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on those goal differentials and away points. Well, looking from, I'm going like this. I'm peeking in. I'm seeing what's going on and how my season could at least be more exciting. Because I mean, it's done over here. I think we're gonna make Champions League. At least that's the dream. But yeah, I got my binoculars out. I'm seeing what other. I got my Charlie on the map with all the lines. And like, well,
exactly.
This could happen.
I mean, yeah, it'd be absolutely crazy if it happens. Again, a stressful game I wouldn't want to watch, but also just what an incredible moment, for a whole season to come down to like literally a tie and you need the playoff is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my only question is, when would that game happen? Season ends May 24th. Champions League finals the next weekend.
I don't know. Then you got World Cup right behind that.
Right behind it. So scheduling would be fascinating. I imagine it'd probably be a midweek game. But if Arsenal make Champions League the following weekend, just hypothetically, what? Yeah. I don't know. Questions.
Play the Champions League final on Saturday. Final on Sunday. Yeah.
Would love to see it.
You know what I do love to see is Tottenham in the relegation zone officially.
It was inevitable, and it was more just a matter of time of what weekend it would happen. But I mean, come on, man. De Zerbi went in there with high hopes, and then he went, ooh, yeah, this isn't good. Romero out for the rest of the season.
That hurts. That's a big blow. Yeah, I don't hate the De Zerbi appointment as a whole.
I don't either.
I think, the football he gets his teams to play is pretty good. Like, I remember Brighton under him was always, a tough team to go against. I don't think Tottenham currently has the players needed to play how he wants to play, and I don't think he will want to play in a way to, like, scrap through games to get these vital points at the end of the season. So I don't know if it was the move here.
They have a tough schedule, dude.
Yeah.
Their schedule is not easy. The teams that they think they're going to beat are just coming off. I mean, honestly, I look at the schedule right now, and Chelsea is probably the one team where I'm like, yeah, they might be able to sneak by Chelsea.
That's true, yeah.
Like, everyone else they're going to have some problems with. You could argue Villa, too, a little bit, but, like, Leeds is not, after Leeds' victory this weekend, like, vibes are high. Brighton has been on a roll. Wolves are, I think, kicking themselves right now for their terrible start to the season because the teams in front of them have just been so much worse. It's going to be, I mean, you can't say Tottenham's done, but it's sure looking that way.
Yeah.
I don't see an answer here.
Yeah, like, I mean, you look at some of the Wolves' performances recently, and they're basically doing what we thought they would do. Just like, we know we're going down, basically, so
let it rip.
Throw it all out there. Who cares? And then on the same, West Ham finally found some form and plays with some real, like, energy and desire now. Just went or hosted Wolves and put 4 past them. Like, I can't imagine this Tottenham team doing any of that.
No way, dude. No. It's gosh, when's the last time they've scored more than 2 goals outside of their Champions League? We'll call it early defeat against Atletico. They probably haven't scored. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna do a quick scan of their schedule here just to see when a 3 came up. But PSG, UCL, you're going back to Everton on October 26th, 3-0.
Yeah, so.
And I bet the player who scored those games aren't even around right now. Mickey Van de Ven and Sarr. I guess Van de Ven might. He's alive, right?
Yeah.
I
mean.
Yikes! It's over. And it sucks. You know what I hate about this whole thing though is the Tottenham fans saying like, "Yeah, relegate us." Like, brother, you may not ever come back.
That's
why do a reset when there's no chance of promotion later?
I just I don't follow Championship enough to like know that well, but how many times have we seen teams come up or drop down and then maybe they come back up, but it's like years later, and they're not the same powerhouse of a team that they were. And in Tottenham's case, you're going down having spent a lot of money on your stadium and your squad and all these other like transfer fees and stuff. So it's like you're carrying a lot of debt that relied probably on just the guaranteed Premier League money plus Europe money. But now you're not going to have any of that, which it's going to be a big blow. It'll be massive changes to the club and the squad, and they signed De Zerbi for 5 years or something, right? Like, I don't see that guy lasting 5 years. I don't think any of his last appointments have been longer than like 2 years. So, he gets sacked or whatever, and then you still got to pay him out, and it's just some weird decisions already in there. But going down, I think, would be I'll say catastrophic, because if you come right back up, cool, you maybe dodged a massive bullet there, but I don't think it's worth the gamble.
I mean, Leicester's about to get relegated in Championship.
Yeah, see, there you go.
So and we could argue that Leicester, what was it, 2 years ago, a year ago, was better than Tottenham is right now.
Yeah.
And you're gonna lose those players that have been keeping you afloat. Just if you look at their team right now, who's staying on this team and going down to the Championship? Not Kudus, not Romero, not Porro, not Mickey Van de Ven, not Bentancur. Polina's gone. Siemens probably gone. There's no way he's sticking around there. This is going to be a whole new squad.
Yeah.
Probably no one in the starting 11 will be in this team in the Championship next year. It's hard to believe. They may, but I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Just don't see it.
Could be, 1 or 2 shouts, but
or Charleston, like maybe.
Maybe, but like I think once you go down, mid to lower table Premier League teams will just walk up and say, "Hey, you want to play Premier League again?
Yeah,
come on over."
We're gonna say it wasn't you, it was Tottenham.
Yeah, and kind of we've seen that with some players that struggle in that Tottenham team and then go elsewhere and have a great career. So
Modric.
Yeah, that's all I
Eric's.
got, but
It's crazy.
It's just scary times for Tottenham fans, but
I think this just solidifies that Kane was a god.
oh my gosh, yeah.
Kane and Son carried this team, I think, without us really noticing it. I mean, obviously we were like, wow, great players, insane goal scoring potential, but to take those two players out, and we'll just say, Son did what he had to do, but I still believe if Son was with a Harry Kane type, his career maybe wouldn't have derailed as quickly. And it didn't even really derail. Derail is a strong word. He just fell off, right? I mean, that happens. But look at Kane right now, man. Just destroying. Watching his footwork in the box the other day when the space is so tight, it just makes you realize like how good he actually is. And I feel like with Tottenham, because they never really won anything, it was hard to say like, he couldn't carry them to a title. Well, I think if he had a couple more players with him, it would have been very, very close. It hurts to see Diaz and him absolutely lining it up for Bayern. It's like I'm seeing too many of the Wolverine meme with the hand on the picture, and it's Diaz. It sucks. That's like what could have been if we held on to him instead of Gakpo or something like that. It's Mo Salah might not be leaving. There's so many. The butterfly effect of that is just insane. But I don't know. I just feel like this is Tottenham's dagger. I think the West Ham 4-0 rather than the Sunderland 1-0 lost was the dagger, because it showed that West Ham is willing to fight and you are not. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we got time.
Exactly.
Still got time.
Got time.
What, six games?
See what they can cook up, but
your schedule sucks.
Schedule sucks, and I've seen nothing to. I mean, granted, it's only one game under De Zerbi, but I saw nothing in that game to make me think this is going to be some turnaround.
Brighton's gonna probably beat you. Brighton's been on a roll. What are they? They've won their last couple. Yeah, they've won the last 5 out of 6 games, and you haven't won a game this year. So that's tough. I mean, the Wolves game, yeah, sure, you could sneak by Wolves, but I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet on it. So
bet on it, but that could be like the one, right? Like beyond that, yeah, I don't know. It's like you said, the not easy schedule, and at this point, like I don't know if the players are. I don't know if you got time to buy into a new coach and new tactics and
right.
fight to survive. You're just outside of, safety, but just unfortunately you need to win some games, and you've lost that ability.
Yeah, it's not great. I do want to talk about the PKs or the red card situation in the Leeds Manchester United game.
Oh yeah.
What'd you think of that?
Interesting one. When I first watched it, I was like, red card for what? Like I didn't really even see anything.
Right.
And then of course it gets slowed down, different angle, whatever you see. I guess there is like a hair grab, but it seems more I don't know if we can call it accidental, but not in a way of like a dangerous play kind of vibe, right?
No. I mean, it proves that shirt pulling is inevitable, but at this point, everyone should grow their hair out a little bit, because if you can get a hair tug by your shirt, it's almost protecting you in a way or having a huge advantage. I would love to see some players let their hair down a little bit more now, because I mean, even Calvert-Lewin had his hair in a bun, right? It was just the little tiny like pony that was coming off of it. Hang on, can you hear him?
Yeah.
He's straight not having a good time. I did put him in, but we'll see if he's not chill with me in like 15 seconds here. I'm gonna put him in his outside kitchen crate. Let's see. He might just chill. Sometimes he just likes to stretch. All right, I think we can continue here. Yeah, the joke is that Arteta by next year his whole team is gonna have long hair. But
I mean, not a bad shout. Like you said, I mean, you think of Holland, he has pretty long hair. If he lets that thing flow, the way defenders already mark him tightly and want to, stop him at all costs, like he could probably get a few hair pulls in there and win some fouls. And
we see this almost across all sports, right? I think it happens a lot in American football too, where players with longer hair have their hair coming out of their helmet. So when players go to dive for them and try to grab their jersey, they grab hair sometimes. I do think though that is somewhat legal. I don't remember. I remember it happening not too long ago. Yeah, here we go. In the NFL, tackling a player by their hair is legal if the hair extends outside the helmet. So not an advantage to have it in football. Yeah. I'd be curious to see. I mean, gosh, it's hard to say in the soccer world having long hair can be a disadvantage. It's a strange one, right? Because you can't pull someone's hair. We saw it in the Women's Premier League like 2 weeks ago, where someone's hair got pulled accidentally. No foul, no review, no red card, no nothing. So it is kind of ironic it happens 2 weeks later in a not even that aggressive of a way. Totally accidental in my mind. There was no way that was on purpose. And then you get punished for a red card. I don't know. It's an interesting thing to talk about. That's for sure.
I think if the handball rule can have this like kind of gray area to it, this almost sort of needs that as well, which maybe you can kind of piggyback off the NFL ruling of like if it extends down onto your like back, shoulders, jersey area, like that's just accidental. It's it's
Right.
whatever you want to call it, but or you just say across the board, everyone was shaving heads, get rid of it completely. But
Hairnet, caps, something.
yeah, gotta wear a cap now. Sorry, but yeah, I think that's a tough one to take. Like, I don't know that would have changed too much for United's outcome. Like,
Right.
you know, yeah, they got the goal back later, so like maybe having the extra guy on the field would have helped at least get a draw. But I think that's one I would like to hear the like the VAR conversation, or like their whatever that show is where they like deep dive the calls. Not that they ever give us any like real info on that, but at least hear their thoughts of like, well, I would hope that someone would ask that of like, okay, well, if he's pulling here and it was just shirt, is this a red, or is it a red only because the hair is also there and it just happens to be there, basically?
I mean, we see in the women, I would say probably 90% of women have long hair who play footy, and this isn't a reoccurring problem that happens with them. Like, this could just be a one-off, and we never have it really happen again. I just thought the whole handling of it was poor and incorrect. I would have been a yellow here seemed totally fine for me, and then we move on. But it's just a I don't has this ever, I'm sure it's happened before, but I don't recall this ever happening before.
The only one I can think of is Cucurella. He's had his hair pulled a few times, but I don't think it's ever been in such this like tried to pull shirt, caught hair kind of vibe. I think it was a little bit more reckless.
So João Neves pulled Cucurella's hair, not on, just like reached up, grabbed it, pulled him back, and got an immediate red card for it.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Totally. Like, yeah, you can't do that. It looks like Jack Stevens did it too. Man, Cucurella, you can just go Cucurella hair pull, and you're gonna find countless videos here. Yeah, it looks like Jack Stevens just gave him a little one on maybe defending a corner, looking like he was trying to grab his shirt, and it was hair. I mean, Cucurella sold it pretty good, but again, like, he's a weird one too because his hair is more bouncy. I can't believe we're talking about hairstyles right now, but like, you know what I mean? It's not dangling by his, like, too low into his shirt, below his collar type thing. I don't know, man. It's a weird one. I don't want to say I feel for Man U, but I understand the frustration behind it. However, you were losing 2-0 at the time.
Yeah.
To blame a loss on this is tough. Just don't let Leeds beat you, man. Like, don't let Leeds get ahead of you. Be better from the start. But I'm okay with a loss there. Looking ahead, gosh, it seems like everyone in the Big Six is just on this weird spiral of ups and downs. It's so hard to say right now who's going to really be in the top four. I mean, what's going on with Chelsea? The Enzo thing, talking about going to Madrid, getting just crushed the last couple weeks.
So, speaking of Enzo, yeah, he was kind of talking like, I mean, he didn't even really say he's like, I want to go to Madrid.
Nope.
But like, for them to sideline him because of his comments against City, which, maybe is a game they maybe expect a loss, but I think considering your position, like, you still need points, right? So I think you want to field your best team against any team at this point, right? So to sideline him for some comments they didn't like, do you agree? Is that
and not just one game, two.
Yeah.
Right? In a critical point of your season, you couldn't find the man?
Yeah, right?
Or have
like
a stern talking to?
Like, I could see if he was, I'm kind of over Chelsea, talking to Real or whoever. Like, if he was more blatant about it, then okay, maybe then you can feel more justified to, like, well, screw you guy kind of thing. But for him to just, I mean, yeah, he's insinuating that he wants to transfer to Madrid, but come on,
What player doesn't kind of say things like that? Like, where they're saying, Trent Alexander-Arnold talked about the Madrid, I'm learning Spanish. Like,
yeah, like,
we didn't suspend him because of that. Like, that'd be crazy.
And he has so many players of, like, oh, like, who's the dream team you would want to play for? It's either Madrid or Barca, right? Like,
of course,
everyone's saying it. So I think it's a weird move. It does make me question if LinkedIn Liam is struggling to get hold of some of the players in the dressing room, and this was his, power move, assert my authority kind of situation.
Yeah.
Because I just think from a competition perspective, like, this is just stupid to leave out one of your better, most consistent players this season.
Yep.
In a time where you desperately need points, and now you missed the Man City game. You're gonna miss the game against United. I mean, City, you're not really fighting with in the table, but United, you are, right? Like, you should be fielding the best team you can to get the points.
I was kind of shocked, or not shocked, but I will say I was surprised to not see a ban lifted from him after the City loss, in terms of just like maybe we shouldn't have done that.
He said sorry. He can come back now.
Yeah, right. It's just so bizarre to do it right now.
Yeah.
They could have, even if Chelsea would have said, we're gonna approach this and, like, digest it, and then after, say, this weekend, we're like, okay, we're gonna suspend him for a game. Who's Chelsea playing soon? That would be a fitting, the Brighton game. If they said we're gonna, fine. I just don't think it warranted a suspension for we'll call him your top 3 best player, arguably. Poor timing. It almost feels like a little bit of sabotage. Not only for themselves, but for other teams in the table too. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. This Chelsea team has never made sense for the last couple of years, so it's not a total surprise that this dysfunction is still occurring. And that's maybe, I mean, sure, did he say in a subliminal way he wants to go to Madrid? You could look at it like that. He didn't though.
Yeah.
He just said he would love to live there because it reminds him of home. Like, I don't know. Bizarre, dude. He said, and then even saying, he wanted to focus on the rest of the season. He has a World Cup coming up, yada, yada. It's I don't know. I think Chelsea just wanted to make the news. It feels like it was just a newsworthy thing to be relevant, and what's going to come out of it is probably 2 losses.
Probably. And then I just kind of wonder for his motivation now.
Oh.
A loss potentially against United. Are you even checking in the rest of the season, or you're just ready for the World Cup? You're just going to...
Do they think this helps his future at Chelsea?
I mean, that too. Like, beyond this season, like, I don't know. Chelsea's just unique.
He probably got suspended. He's like, well, now I want to go to Real Madrid. Thank you very much. Yeah. Like, they did say, they had a talking and, everything is fine. But in the back of his head now, it's like, well, if I say the wrong thing, even if I don't mean it, they could just suspend me. I don't know. If I was that player and seeing this Chelsea dysfunction, and he has a good World Cup, and Real Madrid does come knocking, he ain't going to say no to that. They got to find a way to make the money work. But, and then, I don't know, man. World Cup seasons always feel a little botched to me. It's, I could vent on it with a couple of Liverpool's players. you see it with some players who want to start, like Konate, who's having a fantastic end of the run here for this season. And then you see players like Virgil and McAllister who just feels like they don't have the same type of edge right now. And I swear we're going to see probably excellent performances in the World Cup from them, which I get. You don't want to risk injury, risk your future after just seeing Ikitike go down with an Achilles tear out of nowhere. It's gonna be a weird end of the season for those teams who are like on the cusp of making top 4, and like how much do they really give and when do they give it? Yeah, man, World Cup years they're tough.
Yeah, I kind of had that thought with Odegaard too. It's like he's had a rough season with like just injury kind of hanging around. But then for him to come back and he played 1 game, maybe 2, and now is off again. I wonder if it's more of like a over precaution on his end because he knows that World Cup is right there. So, while yes, he wants to help Arsenal and do what he can, the moment he feels something just like a little off, he's maybe, do you just like say it feels a little bit worse just to like get that extra time off to make sure it doesn't become like a ACL tear or something?
Yep, 100%.
I don't know.
I mean, we're seeing it with Haaland too. He hasn't scored in the EPL since February. Like what the hell is that? that makes, for a guy who was putting up record numbers at the beginning of the year to barely have any goal scoring. What he has 3 goals in 2026 in the Premier League.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't seem. It seems like my numbers are wrong. That's how weird. Like it just doesn't feel right. So yeah, man. As the World Cup lingers, players they tone it down a little, I think. But again, there's a title on the line. Can't tone it down too much, especially for you guys in City. But I personally haven't really seen that from Arsenal too much. With the players who are playing, right? But definitely the ones who are injured now does make you wonder.
Yeah, and then, I think Saka a little bit the same. Like, he's had an off season, and I think some reports have started to come out that he's kind of been carrying injury throughout most of the season. So, in non-World Cup years, would he maybe push through that a little bit more and kind of risk injury a little bit more? Probably. I think there is still some tactical issue of pushing him out too far. I mean, you look at Elise last night, and I know they're not the same player, but Elise wasn't stuck on the touchline like Saka has been. So he has that opportunity to cut in and get shots off, or find the pass or whatever, where Saka always receives the ball so far wide, and then by the time he can get in, it's like 2-3 defenders on him. So yeah, I don't know. That's tactical discussion, but yeah, you gotta wonder if there is just that World Cup looming, and you want to be as healthy as you can, and especially as we get to these later stages, it's like, well, he kicks me pretty hard, and I feel a little twist or something, or a little pain I'm not used to. So yeah, let me just be overly cautious and take the time.
Yeah, why Dom said he was gonna die on the pitch? Because he doesn't have a World Cup this summer.
Well, there
you think Virgil's going, I ain't dying for this? There's no way. It's kind of true. I mean, no other player on Liverpool publicly said they were willing to die tomorrow for this game, except for the one guy who wasn't in the World Cup. It's looking back, it is funny to see, but I don't think he's too wrong in saying that. God, make Dom the captain, sign him for life.
Absolutely.
Love him to death. Chad, we're hitting our hour mark here.
Yeah.
Fun weekend ahead of us. We'll be together. Hopefully we can find some time to catch that City Arsenal game. We'll figure out a way to watch it. But big weekend. Safe travels tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Pick you up at the airport, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right, with that, Hooligans pitch. We're out. Peace.